Greetings, AFS grant applicants. My name is Holly Herrick, and I'm the Associate Artistic Director at the Austin Film Society. I'm here to tell you about some updates to the instructional video for the 2014 AFS grant. The following instructional videos were made in 2012 by former AFS Director of Artist Services, Brian Poyser. While the videos are still about 95% accurate for the 2014 grant application, there are some important changes that you should note before watching the videos, as well as some new requirements. Please note that the following changes have been made to the AFS grant for 2014. Number 1. The AFS grant was formerly known as the Texas Filmmakers Production Fund, or TFPF, and so it is referred to that way in the videos. Last year, we changed the name of the grant to the AFS grant. Change number 2. The Alpha Cine grant, which was an in-kind package of goods and services, is actually no longer part of the AFS grant. Please ignore any mention of Alpha Cine in the video. Change number 3. The MPS Camera Austin has partnered with AFS to offer a $10,000 goods and services package as part of the 2014 grant. There is a designated space on the AFS grant application to apply for the package. To find out more about what MPS offers as a part of the grant, please see our downloadable 2014 application instructions, which are available on austinfilm.org. Lastly, AFS now accepts work samples on 2 different formats. These are Vimeo links and playable DVDs. Now, I'd like to review the 2 new requirements for the grant for 2014. Number 1, a treatment or a script is now required for every project and must be included with your application. Number 2, work samples can be no longer than 6 minutes. If you'd like to submit a full film or more video material in addition to your 6-minute work sample, you may include a second Vimeo link in the additional supporting materials section of the application. If you'd like to submit your additional video or film work on DVD, you should author your DVD so that both your 6-minute work sample and additional film and video material are accessible from your DVD's main menu. We cannot accept more than 1 DVD per application. However, you may submit your 6-minute work sample on Vimeo and provide a DVD as additional supporting material if you'd like to go in that direction. Just remember that we need 3 copies of your DVD if you choose to send any material on DVD. Now you are ready to watch the AFS grant instructional videos. You may want to replay these updates after you've watched all the videos just to make sure you've got it all. Thanks for applying.
Okay, so next up is the project timeline. So this is a 1-page deal. It should take the project from beginning to end. Same thing with the budget. Don't start at June 1st, 2012 when you're applying to TFPF. Bring it back to the beginning. Looking here on the example of the project timeline, this was an application for 2011, but the timeline starts in November 2010. This is again for David Hartstein's project. This is where he discovered the League. His first research trip was in 2010, continues fundraising, and he brings it all the way through March of 2012 distribution phase. It's now March of 2012. He hasn't necessarily finished the project, so you're not going to be held to the timeline necessarily. It's really just based on the timeline that you have for this project, does it show that you're really giving yourself enough time to actually complete it? For documentaries especially, the editing time is kind of the longest part of the process. So if you have a documentary, you want to see that you're really anticipating that you're going to take that much time. Narrative features also, those take a long time to edit, especially if you're a first-time narrative feature filmmaker. If you're anticipating that you're going to finish editing in your project in 1 month, the panelists who are looking at these applications, they know how long the editing process will take. It'll maybe show that you haven't really thought through your project. So give yourself enough time for post-production. That's one of the main pieces of advice for the timeline. Next up is the project personnel page. This is again just 1 page. It should be bios for yourself and other attached project personnel. So perhaps a producer, an editor, any cast members if you're doing a narrative. And the bios should cover your relevant experience, other movies that you've made, other movies that your attached crew or cast have made. And it's an opportunity to show that you're taking advantage of the experience of others. If you are a first-time filmmaker or somebody who's relatively inexperienced, this is a good chance for you to show that you're bringing people onto the project who've maybe done this before, been down a similar road, and are going to be really helping to advise you and just bring you through the process. The next required attachment, proof of Texas residency. This is pretty simple. We basically just need a copy of your Texas driver's license, voter registration card, a utility bill with your name and Texas address on it, just something to show that you actually do live in Texas, and then the person applying, the director, is the one who lives in Texas. Okay, so next up is additional support material. Again, if you're asking for more than $10,000, you need 2 letters of support as part of your support material. Those letters should be from someone familiar with the filmmaker's work, familiar with the project that you're applying for. It shouldn't just be a general character reference. It should really talk about your work, what you've done before. They should talk about the project specifically, why this person thinks that it's going to be important, relevant. It can come from a number of different people. It can come from somebody, perhaps if you're a film student just out of school, you can get one of your teachers to talk about how the work that you've done is really great. A festival programmer, if you've shown your stuff at a lot of film festivals, you can get them to write a letter of support and say, we really love his stuff and want to see what he does next, or she. And let's say it doesn't have to be anyone associated with the film industry. It could be somebody from another nonprofit organization. If you're making a documentary about some social issue, you can get somebody to talk about how the project is going to be really relevant to their work. It's going to be a resource for them to show people, to get them interested in whatever cause they're related to. And it can be from someone actually involved with the project. Say you've got a really great cinematographer who's going to work for free or for very little money just because they really believe in the project. You can get them to write a letter of support for you. Beyond the letters of support, other things that you can include that might be helpful: storyboards, articles, production design images, location photos. Something visual is always great. And these additional support materials should help to just make the project look more attractive, intriguing. If you have articles, again, if you're making a documentary about some social issue or historical event, you can include articles about those things to show how relevant or important or in the public consciousness these things may be. Storyboards, location photos. If you have a dynamic, interesting location, including a photo of that might help to sort of visually support what this project may look like. If it's just an apartment, that may not be as helpful.